You think I'll let you zone?
Baka.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are back. Things are going to be familiar while some things are new in this new volume by IDW. Let's see what writer Jason Aaron has in store when writing for the 4 Teenage Ninja Brothers. Now this is an interesting way to start out a new version of the Turtles with Raphael in prison, the San Joaquin State Prison to be exact. Raph is there getting ready to eat lunch, but on the lookout because he can sense that there are a few are trying to gather up the courage to try him with a shiv, while others are wondering what he did to get locked up here. As the prison guard calls lights out, the turtle comments that honing his senses he can hear people crying themselves to sleep, while others are asking their dead mother for forgiveness. In there, people stick to their realm, but since he's the only mutant, Raph is alone. Raph hears a few inmates have tunneled and escaped through the sewers and follows them, commenting that anger calms him and rage clears his mind as he beats the escapees bloody. He gets a memory of him and his brothers thinking the sewers were the way to freedom as he drags them back to prison. Warden Starnes has the prison go code red for some escapees in the sewers that got beaten and are not moving, while Raph remembers eating cart food or a good slice of pizza in the cool open air of the NYC skyline. Raph misses the city, but the more he spends locked up, he can't help but think he belongs here. Later we find out that Raph did something that landed him in prison after the warden gets mad that Raph didn't alert him to the tunnel a week earlier before he brought them back. Starnes says he saved him from what he caused, so for now he owns the turtle. Starnes wants to use Raph as a weapon to clean up the corruption in this place that he can't do on his own, and if Raph can do that, then the warden will see what he can do to get his case dismissed, as he is the only person the warden can trust right now. Some new faces arrive, and Starnes tells the turtle to keep an eye on them and to correct them if they get out of line, and for him to stay in line as well because he's a long way from home. Later, Raph wasn't focused and was late as he saw a guard was killed, so he raced to the warden's office. Raph finds the shinobi on the roof trying for answers, but they don't have any tongues, and their eyes say that they will never tell anyway. But Raph is happy to do it their way. He knows they're Foot Clan, but they are Karai's, as they are less murdery, but they have killed before. Raph comments that he has tons of books in his cell, but they aren't for reading. He uses them for armor, and he knocks one out, but it gets weird as the other two back off. He realizes they were a decoy. He races to the warden, and he's been killed, and the evidence in the safe has been stolen. So the deal is off now that Starnes is dead and the safe was raided. Raph realizes he was set up as the SWAT team comes in to arrest him. Later, Raph escapes saying that they are coming for them, but he will find his brothers. Now we see an attorney being arrested as another attorney watches on named Hale says that there aren't the real cops he's used to, but the new DA will be him instead of Carmichael, because he had drugs planted on him the night of the election and then tosses him off the bridge. And as the comic ends, Karai is taking over the city by planting foot agents in positions of power. Mikey in Japan, he's a famous TV star and hits one of the stuntmen in the face, and they stop filming with the camera guy asking why did he stop, the fight was just getting really good. Mikey says he didn't mean to hit Steve, but after years of ninjas wanting to kill you, it's hard to pull your punches. But Steve says he's okay because Mikey's nunchucks are made of rubber, remember? Mikey is a real famous star as he tells himself how to master the weapon is to put up with the pain of hitting yourself a good few times before you actually start getting good, because if you can't handle that, you'll never get anywhere with them. He's living it up in Tokyo with celebrities, executives, everyone. He gives them the full Mikey experience, bad jokes and all. Mikey became a megastar in 6 months since coming to Japan. He's had everything he's ever wanted but still feels so alone. The best meals he's ever had were sharing some pizzas with his brothers. Mikey used to sneak out looking for fights in Tokyo, but it's relatively peaceful with the Foot Clan around, even though they're from Japan and all. Even after a year, they leave Mikey alone for the most part, and the only people that chase him around now are fans who want his autograph. Now, to unwind from the stress, Mikey buys frozen pizza and watches classic kung fu flicks. Just when the Foot assault Mikey in his own home, he does no damage and they destroy him and his weapons. With Mikey remembering he only plays a ninja now and has no real weapons, and figures out why he's so sluggish. They probably poisoned the pizza he ate. He can't focus or stand because his stomach is in knots and has a headache, but stuff like this usually never happens because he had brothers watching out for him. Furthermore, he gets hallucinations of his brothers telling him even when he's on the floor about to die, he still isn't taking anything seriously, and that he is a disgrace if this is how he's going to go out. But Mikey fights back, saying no one can tear him down like he does himself because he obsesses over everything he does wrong, from the articles to comments. Mikey gets gut checked and vomits some of the poison up to be able to think and fight with actual nunchucks and jumps into action, finding out that he's still not thinking straight and he's still filled with rage against his brothers for abandoning him. As the comic ends, Raph makes it to Mikey to tell him what the Foot are going to be doing, only to get hit in the mouth, and Mikey goes after Raph. We meet Leo, who has been living at the Genji's river seeking enlightenment on what he should be doing but hasn't found it yet. At the river, funerals are held where the bodies are half cremated and the remains wash up here where the local soft-shelled snapping turtles have developed a taste for the corpses and are said to strip a body clean to the bone in a matter of hours. Leo is at a pass because he doesn't know what to do or even what to live for. He is a ninja at heart but can't go about it during the day for the simple fact that he's a mutated turtle. He tries to get the snapping turtles to acknowledge him, but they slide away. Leo tries to do what they do and fight the urge to kill, as these turtles may eat the dead but they don't kill. Months go by and he still hasn't learned anything until one turtle comes to Leo, then bites him, signaling that they don't want him there. Leo was about to leave until humans came, poachers, and Leo is conflicted into helping or not helping because he's not human, but not truly turtle either, just a dead corpse wandering around trying to find something, so he ends up scaring the poachers away and freeing the turtles. He meditates with the turtles, finding a purpose to protect them, and living in peace. The Foot have tracked Leo here and they want him dead, so peace will never come for him as he sees the turtles to the river for safety. The Foot didn't come here for enlightenment, but blood of a turtle that will soak their blades. They won't be seeking redemption, but carbon steel instead. After defeating the search party, Leo guesses it's time to go back home because sometimes the only way to move forward is to go back to where you came from and face it head on. Leo thought he'd be cleansed by the river, but all he sees is a muddy mess. Leo isn't needed here anymore, and it's time to go find his brothers. Back in Tokyo, Mikey and Raph are still fighting, with Mikey wanting his brother to leave as he's doing just fine on his own. Raph hates that Mikey's being petty and hard-headed, that the Foot are after them both, and he smells like throw up while beat all to hell. Mikey is also surprised that Raph was in prison for a while the Foot watched them beat each other up. Mikey sucker punches Raph for saying his show sucks as they are about to die, but as the comic ends, Leo tells them both to stop fighting as they need to go help Donnie. They located him, and he needs his brothers. Donnie trying to walk back to New York with him not feeling very well since he traveled through time, where he can't keep food down and is withering away. He also gets massive headaches to the point where he can't look at a screen for more than a minute without his head feeling like it would shatter. Since his illness, it makes him feel like he's missing a part of himself since he can't use technology for very long, and he won't use magic to fix himself. Donnie was in Northampton living in the woods visiting Splinter's grave, hoping to hear his voice again until Donnie is guided to a gas station by a gray rat. Once there, he finds a pen with mutants being illegally captured, and Donnie says he'll get them out of there before being ambushed with the tranquilizer himself. Donnie has been holed up in a mutant fight club in the deep south for months. He's starting to forget who he is and what he's supposed to be doing until the gates clang and he remembers. He does whatever it takes to make sure the hunters pick him because he's the only mutant that can actually fight back. After another defeat, the guards are fed up with Donatello always winning. Donnie, on the other hand, just needs more time to crack the codes on the gates and feeds. He was always keeping track of what the guards did before making the escape. In the cages, the other mutants thank Donnie for protecting them, but they want to help him with anything because at night they can hear him talking to himself. Donnie tells them he's okay and he's telling everything to Splinter just in case anything happens to him because Splinter helps him remember who he is, but not to worry as he will get them anything they need as Donnie just needs one more day. Donnie's woken up to a surprise that everyone he's ever beaten decided to gang up on him. Donnie tells Splinter to lead the mutants out of here if he doesn't make it back and tell his brothers as he's cut off before being attacked. The hunters aren't trained fighters, just people with rage and numbers, but sometimes Donnie wonders if he's deranged himself for still fighting back. He makes a break for the gate as the guards got sloppy because he can see the number sequences from the grease marks on the number pad to get to the control room, and after 63 tries, he frees everyone, but the Foot shows up. Leo, Mikey, and Raph race to save Donnie after Mikey tells the pair that maybe they would have gotten here faster in their own private jet. Donnie beats everyone and saves the mutants, but tells his brothers what to do, but to them they are amazed at how horrible he looks. As the comic ends, Donnie says the Foot are back trying to kill them again, aren't they, like old times? as Leo, Mikey, and Raph have an awkward moment with their unhinged brother. This whole back to New York City arc is very interesting in that for each issue we see how each turtle deals with the fallout of the mutagen bomb and Splinter's passing. Like in issue 1, it was all about Raph and whether or not he deserves to be locked up in prison for all the mistakes that he has made, with all of the corruption that's in there as well. Even with all the self-loathing, he still thinks about his brothers and cares for them, even jumping into action at the first sign of trouble about Mikey. Speaking of Mikey, he's done pretty well for himself that he became a megastar in Japan. He showed his brothers that he can take care of himself, but for all the fame and money he has, Mikey is still lonely and feels abandoned by his brothers, Raph and Leo mostly. He thought that they left him at home because he's a screw up, because he never takes anything seriously, but he says he doesn't need them. But really deep down, Mikey misses his brothers deeply. Leo went abroad because he didn't know what to do with himself anymore. He didn't want to be this killing machine with all this rage bottled up inside of him at all. He wants peace, but can never find it because either because he can't find it in himself to let go, or people keep finding him for trouble. The last one is Donnie, which is the saddest one because he's the worst off both physically and mentally. Lost his home, his body is failing him now, all from the time stream adventures. He can't eat or sleep, constant headaches, and the only thing that brings him relief is working on tech. He can't do that anymore because any more than a few minutes staring at a screen, his head feels like it's gonna split open. He's losing his sanity by talking to a rat he named Splinter to keep him sane because Donnie ended up in an illegal mutant hunting ring. During his time there, Donnie just wants to be useful again, doing anything and everything to save the mutants there that can't fight back because he's the only one. And during his stage breakout, his brothers make it to where he is, expecting the worst, but they find out that he's beaten all of them, all of the foot that came for him. But he isn't all there. Leo, Raph, and Mikey are just glad to see the brother is okay before heading back home to confront the Foot. And I give this arc like a 9 out of 10 for showing how each turtle dealt with their thoughts when isolated. But with that, stay gold guys, and I'll see you in the next video.